Once again, Happy New Year. I hope it's a good year for all of us, a year of blessing, a year of grace, a year when each and every one of us will encounter the wonderful surprises that God has in store for us. Sometimes we think surprises are not all that great, but I think our God has surprises in store for each and every one of us. The other day, as I was sitting thinking about the readings and reflecting on the readings, I was thinking about the various homilies I've given on this feast of the Epiphany over the years. When I was down in New Orleans, this was 12th night, because it was always January 6th. This was 12th night, the beginning of the Mardi Gras season, the carnival season. So it was always a big party. There's very few people in the evening mass, trust me. But it was a time of celebration. And over the years, sometimes I've preached about the star, sometimes I've preached about the three wise men, sometimes about all of what this can mean, the nativity and so forth. But as I was reflecting about it, I said, we need to take a look at the whole event. What's really going on in the scriptures? What's really going on in the church as we celebrate this Feast of Epiphany? For a while, preaching about the three wise men was very important. And those of you that are on Facebook, have seen the comment that's been circulating a lot on Facebook, that after the three wise men came with their gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh and departed, the three wiser women arrived with extra diapers, casseroles for a week, and a supply of formula. But I have to tell you that there is an ancient text that has only recently come to light, which said that after the wiser women departed, a wise Jesuit arrived and offered him a scholarship for high school and college so that at least he would get a good education. But on this feast of the Epiphany, this feast of the revelation of God for the world, we take that first reading from the prophet Isaiah, and we hear a wonderful revelation. There's a sense of joy and exuberance in this, a sense of reaching out and wonderment that is going on. Here's a people who've been wiped out in war. Here's a people who've been destroyed, have nothing at all to be happy about. And Isaiah tells them, it's great. Everyone will come to you. You have no idea how good this is. But he's only speaking to a very small nation, and to a very small number of people in a tiny part of the world. This was a Jewish prophet talking to the Israelite people about something that was going to happen for them. Those other people down the road, don't worry about them. They got their own God. They'll deal with it. This is for us. Well, I don't think very many of us here are of Jewish heritage. So what does this say to us? How does this prophet, 4,000 years later or 3,000 years later, speak to us? And I think it's in the person of Jesus and in this feast of the Epiphany, where the three wise men came from the east, were probably, in all likelihood, not Jews. And there is a revelation of God to them that this Messiah is not just a Jewish Messiah for the Jews, but a divine Messiah for all people. That's kind of mind-shattering. Because I don't know about you, but when I sit down to pray, I kind of gather my thoughts and I pray about my family, my friends, and my concerns, my parish, my job, my work, the people that I speak to, the people that I love. And those people out there, let them get their own prayers. And yet this day says that you and I need to think bigger. You and I need to acquire the mind and the heart of God. Here we are at the beginning of the year, mercy. And this mercy is not just for you and me. It's for all people. This morning at the 11, we had a baptism. And the flowing of grace into this boy's life is not just the grace for him, but it's a grace that we all share. And so the concerns of the world become our concerns. The concerns of all people become our concerns. And our concerns become the concerns of all people. That's a little overwhelming. Most of us tend to break it down and say, okay, yeah, I guess in theory we pray about everybody, but in reality I pray about my family and my security and the things that I worry about, the things that I'm afraid of. In this year of mercy, we're asked to stretch the boundaries. We're asked to push a little bit and try to see that what's important to our God are the things that must also be important to us. And that the revelation of our God was not just to a few people in a small period of time, but it was for all people in all time. And we are a part of that revelation. We're asked to have not a small God, but a big God. A God who embraces all people. A God who reaches out in all time. A God who is large enough, amazing enough for all people. It's a stretch, because most of us don't want to go there. Most of us have a hard time going there. And yet it is what this feast challenges us to do. It is what this feast challenges us to be. The people of an amazing God, whose love, compassion, and mercy knows no bounds, except for the bounds that we put on it. So maybe on this feast, the challenge for each and every one of us is to grow our heart to be as large as the heart of God. Go big, because our God is immense.